Today we're going to talk about 10 gameplay moments that blew us away. Now keep in mind, this isn't a definitive list by any means. We just wanted to highlight some stuff in gameplay moments, both big and small. More than we can even fit in this video, so let's get started off with number 10. Do you remember Levolution? Yes, the term coined by the Battlefield games in Battlefield 3. This stuff was actually pretty awesome. We wanted to specifically highlight Battlefield 4's Levolution because some of it really blew us away, like our title says. First, the Parcel Storm boat. On that map, it can be triggered to have a massive battleship crash land onto shore, and you see it coming very slowly until suddenly it's bam, hitting the shore, grinding against the sand. Fire, smoke, explosions everywhere, the sound of metal twisting and groaning. It really is stunning to just watch play out in real time, and have it affect the multiplayer match just makes it that much more incredible. Along with that, the Siege of Shanghai, that big massive city map, the skyscraper falling down when players trigger that by shooting out these little support beams, man. I mean, just look at it. It's absolutely nuts. The amount of physics going on, the debris everywhere, it's something else. Now, it can be argued which Battlefield game handles the destruction the best, but we just wanted to highlight Battlefield 4 today because people often forget that one. Next, over at number 9, another stunning in-game moment that is super underrated is jumping the helicopter in Tony Hawk's Underground. Remember this? On the Hawaii map, there is a moment where you and Eric Sparrow, that jerk, climb up to the roof of a famous hotel, and then, after skating, the police come and a police helicopter shows up, and you, the player character, your created character, decides to jump it. And not only jump it, but pull off a McTwist. Going for this and pulling it off is absolutely memorable because it just feels like the game had been building up to such an incredible experience, but also the fact that the game triggers perfectly into slow motion mid-gameplay while you pull it off. It just makes it that much more satisfying, and it's honestly one of the most memorable moments from a Tony Hawk game, specifically because Thug focused around story, but still, it was just absolutely awesome. Next, over at number 8, we wanted to highlight certain Red Dead Redemption 2 ambushes because they managed to really surprise us. Even after sinking tons of hours into the game, we're still surprised by crazy moments. Specifically, somewhere like you're walking in a sort of canyon-style area or a shallow area where there are high walls on both sides, when suddenly you'll hear a whistle and guys will pop up on both edges of the canyons pointing guns at you, and it's like an iconic movie standoff, and then of course, you blow them away. Stuff like that still popping up after putting hours into the game is so impressive. From smaller, more creepy encounters, there's just tons of stuff that really surprised us and blew us away. That's it, man. Next, over at number 7, look, we're not always the biggest fans of Call of Duty. We're starting to get a little tired of it, but it is worth pointing out that in Warzone, with Vanguard going on, the Battle of Verdansk, that live event with the airplanes taking over the sky, absolutely stunning stuff. We've seen this replicated in games before, this iconic imagery from the World Wars with the skies seemingly completely filled with an endless stream of perfect formation airplanes ready to attack, ready to riddle the land with bombs and just do completely terrible World War II stuff. And seeing it in this game in real time, they just really sold it. The sound, the low hum of these planes flying overhead, it was really cool. And we were just thinking of something more memorable to highlight, and we could talk about Fortnite stuff, but here, they just really pulled off that feeling, that stuff you see in the old war photographs, the old reels, even movies. It's just incredibly iconic and scary. Next, over at number 6, to be honest, we've talked about Uncharted a ton in these types of videos, so we wanted to talk about Uncharted's weird sort of cousin, Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider reboot, specifically from 2013. This game really amped up the action and big scripted cinematic set piece moments, specifically that Uncharted was really known for, and one always comes to mind for us here at gameranx. It's specifically fairly early in the game, where on this shipwreck island, you see in the sky a massive airplane get taken down by a random strike of a lightning bolt, which of course goes into the story a little more that I won't spoil. And suddenly Lara is facing down a massive 4-engine airplane hurtling towards her until it crash lands, until suddenly she's sliding down a mountain downhill jam style as this airplane just flips and crumbles and explodes and bursts into a million pieces right behind her as she narrowly escapes death. And the whole time, it's not a cutscene. You're controlling it as Lara tumbles down the hill in one direction, then another perspective as shit is just flying everywhere. It really is stunning, and you're holding your breath while it happens. It's like a perfect movie moment, but playable, real-time gameplay. It's amazing. Say what you want about the sequels, I think 2013 just had some really crazy action moments. Next, over at number 5, we said we were going to talk about big stuff and small stuff, and one small thing worth highlighting, we already talked about Levolution and cool stuff in multiplayer. Hell Let Loose, specifically, has some really good looking explosions. From larger scale explosions to just throwing a grenade, the developers really did a good job here handling those explosion effects. The puff of smoke, the debris, the dirt that flies in the air, to the actual flame that pops from the explosion, all of it is not really like you'd see it in other games, and it's really convincing, and we couldn't help but stop and go, wow. When we see them, and it's a challenging game, and most of the time we just get distracted and killed when we see this stuff. But from this to more recent Battlefield games, snow effects with snow sliding off the roof, like there are just little details in cool war multiplayer games that are worth highlighting, and today we wanted to talk about Hell Let Loose. Because I mean, look at these. You know, you might think it's small, but it's really fascinating how it's done. Next, over at number 4, let's talk about a bigger moment from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Brief spoiler warning, we are going to talk about the end of the game, so if you're hearing this, now's your chance to run. And speaking of running, it's the end sequence when Darth Vader shows up. They managed to once again make Darth Vader really scary, almost like a slasher movie villain. As you run from him, he is tearing up the environment behind you, and it almost kind of feels like he's playing with you a little bit, playing with his prey, and it is nothing short of just an absolutely stunning scene. Nothing is better than when they actually make Darth Vader scary in modern adaptations of Star Wars, but specifically in a video game where you actually get to play as the victim of Darth Vader, that's something else, man, and they really nailed it here. Next, down at number 3, we have God of War 2018 and the Baldur fight. Man, this thing comes out of nowhere, and it is absolutely unexpected, and all of it is just a really incredible, fun, playable gameplay sequence. Baldur shows up at your door and you quickly realize he is superpowered. So it's basically two superpowered crazy beings fighting against one another, throwing each other through trees, punching themselves through mountains. It's like a combination of Asora's Wrath and something from Dragon Ball Z, and it is absolutely incredible. Parrying and punching Baldur through a bunch of trees is stunning. Having him slam you down and crack the ground is absolutely wild, and all of it happens crisply and beautifully. This is a fight in a game where it is simple and it's not the most challenging because it is pretty close to the start of the game. It's something that we just play over and over. This is a sequence you just want to load up because it is just absolutely mind-blowing. Now, down at number 2, let's take a brief moment to highlight a special game that's very underrated, Ryse Son of Rome. Is it the best game ever? No. Is it totally serviceable and pretty fun? Yeah. And does it have some really cool moments? Absolutely. Specifically because it is a Crytek game, so the graphics are absolutely gorgeous. The game starts off with a pretty brief little intro adventure, and then it kicks off into a massive beach siege, with you and your Roman soldiers storming a beach, attacking these enemies, using your shields, just engaging in all of those tactics, and it's bloody, it's wet, it's gritty, and it is absolutely stunning. It's a hell of a way to kick off an early game sequence, and the game continues to deliver. Later on, you're engaged in another pretty intense battle, siege type of sequence, and it really does make you go, wow. For an older game, a game that is technically an Xbox One launch game, it's really got some mind-blowing gameplay moments. And again, we could have covered so many other things, but we wanted to highlight something that we don't talk about enough here. We've mentioned Ryse Son of Rome like once or twice recently, but that's really it. And if what you're seeing on screen here is indeed blowing you away too, you should consider checking it out. It's pretty good on PC. Now down to number 1, a gameplay moment that really blew us away was the ending sort of sequence of Metal Gear Solid 3. The last couple of hours of Metal Gear Solid 3 just feel like one crazy fever dream of endless playable action sequence. We wanted to highlight specifically the Shagohod chase. You and Eva are on a motorcycle, tearing ass down an airstrip, trying to get away from Vulcan, who is pursuing you in the Shagohod, this massive nuclear tank that is just absolutely laying waste to everything behind you as you're trying to fire shots at it. To see all this unfold in real time, in gameplay, on a PlayStation 2 was absolutely nuts. This thing was really pushing the PS2 to its limits at the time, and is still pretty impressive to this day. Along with that, this is when the Metal Gear Solid 3 theme really kicks into high gear, really finds its footing, and just makes the sequence so memorable. The whole end of this game, there's so much more to talk about that we can't even fit into this video. All of it is nuts. But unfortunately, that's about all we got time to talk about today. There's so much more, so like I said, we want to hear from you guys in the comments your mind-blowing gameplay moments. Is it big, crazy sequences like something in Uncharted, or is it something small, a little detail that you noticed, and maybe something like Ghost of Tsushima or Halo? Anything at all. We definitely want to hear from you down in the comments. Now, if you like this video, just talking games with us today, clicking the like button's all you gotta do. It legitimately helps us, so thank you. But that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.